1 minute response time, so if you can try to shoehorn it into 1 minute. The question is, Arlington values urban planning. When we say that, we're talking about the inclusion of neighborhoods, parks, walkways. Where do you think that there is room for improvement in the way that we are currently thinking about urban planning here in Arlington?
It's a good question. I think one of the biggest challenges that we're up against right now is this sense that parks and somehow green space and livability are at odds with development. And so when I think about that, I really think that we should challenge the notion that they're at odds with one another. I think if we are looking holistically across the county and leveraging the true diversity of our neighborhoods, the fact that Roslyn doesn't look like Maywood and shouldn't, we do have an opportunity to bring those needs into balance. I think there is room for density in certain parts of Arlington as long as the transportation infrastructure is there to support it. And I think that there is a vision for Arlington where parks, green space, livability does coexist with the density that drives our economic growth.
Thank you. Along with Peter, I served on the Planning Commission and had the opportunity to participate in the revitalization planning process down at NOC, and that was a wonderful experience that taught me a couple of key lessons. Because that was a 3 or 4 year process, we came up with a great plan, and it adheres to wonderful urban design principles. In fact, it won a state award. But at the same time, once that plan was inked, we realized it was uninnovative, based on current conditions and current best practices and current opportunities in the business sector. So as soon as we sort of inked it, it was already functionally obsolete to a degree. So if there's anything that I would change about our commitment to urban planning is figuring out how we inject it with a little bit of urgency, a little bit of innovation, and allow it to proceed in such a way where we're able to capture where the market and where the literature and where the knowledge is at versus where it was when we started. If we're able to do that, then we'll sort of take our commitment to urban planning and move it to the A+ level in terms of how high-functioning communities perform.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. The question, it started off by saying that Arlington values urban planning. And when we talk about that, what we're talking about is the inclusion of neighborhoods, parks, and walkways. And that's one of the things that people really like in Arlington. What type of plans do you have, or what do you think we can do to improve on that?
Okay. To improve upon this, we have to balance our competing growth and our economic development. One of the things that we did with the new facility we plan to build in Roslyn is we capped the cost to save money, $16 million worth of bond capacity so we can do other projects. We also have the smallest footprint so that we can preserve green space. And in partnership with the county, we're looking to have continuous green space both on the school side of the site and the county side of the site. This is an example of how we've taken advantage of this opportunity right now and balance the competing priorities. Moving forward, the two places that are prime for economic development is Columbia Pike and Crystal City. We have 3 assets: educated workforce, we have space in Crystal City, and we have access to financing. My time is up, so I'll pass it on.
I think one place that we can really do some improvement in our urban planning efforts and results is in the transit sphere. I think that we need to stop trying to hit home runs with transit. I think we can work to maximize our current services right now. We can consolidate our bus services underneath ART, and we can realize some cost savings that way, and we can realize management innovations that way. I think we need to mobilize our transit systems as well. We can use smartphone technology right now to communicate on-time arrival, real-time arrival information, seat availability, even online fare payment in our corridors. We can do this right now. We can modernize our transit system throughout the county in the future by tying in with east-west transportation nodes. We might be able to tie in with the Alexandria plan system of BRTs. There are many ways we can maximize, mobilize, and modernize our transit systems.
Well, this question's near and dear to my heart. I actually think that we've overall done a pretty good job in Arlington of planning, and I think I'm also somewhat unique as far as candidates right now in that most of what the county board does is look at development-related issues. And my wife did the math on this, and I have spent thousands of hours in these types of community discussions, and I don't know if I should brag about that, but you know, I know what I'm getting into. And I think that we need to recognize that Arlington is both has urban and suburban sectors. It's not Manhattan and it's not Mayberry. But we have to respect that there are different people live in different parts of Arlington, and that should be respected, all right? Some want to be, you know, car-free in the metro corridors. Others have a different lifestyle in some of the other single-family neighborhoods. But I think that what we also have to do is focus. We've done a lot of placemaking. Let's face it, there's a lot of people, 30,000 people have come here in the last 15 years, all right? And it's not because the rents were cheap, all right? They like what we have to offer, the great community, but we have to look at the consequences of development. We haven't done that. That's the reason we have vacant space in Crystal City and Roslyn. We built the wrong product that is not saleable, marketable today, and we need to deal with that.
Thanks, Peter. I've been president of the Yorktown Civic Association for almost 5 years, and I will tell you that this helped shape a lot of my worldview when we talk about these issues. I think, as somebody said yesterday, Arlington does a very good job of convening. Where we sometimes fall down a little bit is on execution. You heard Bert Bruce's story earlier about the four-way stop sign. I think that's something that we can do better when we work with our neighbors in our neighborhoods. I think we've done a very good job, as you know, on our corridor planning, whether it's the RB corridor, or Columbia Pike, which was a very thoughtful and long drawn-out process that has reaped a lot of benefits already in the community. And now we're working on Lehigh, which I've been proud to be a part of. But there's a lot of other parts of Arlington that need focus. There's a lot of other parts of it where a lot of other different people live, so we need to expand and think holistically. And that's where I'll stop, by saying that we need, you do all things through your values and through your strategy. You don't take projects piecemeal by piecemeal without thinking how they work holistically. Thanks.